Noise sensitivity is a growing problem for a lot of dogs, and it can be spotted early on in puppies that may actually run away from noise or become overstimulated by the noise, with the people thinking the dog just happened to be leaving the kitchen at the time that the whistle on the kettle was going off, or that the dog just happened to want a game at that time. So you need to look at the real subtle language of the dog and see if there's a pattern to the behaviour. Sometimes it may be specific in one area. The dog may be happy outside when the gun goes off if it's been trained for shooting, but if a similar noise happens in the home, it may send the dog into a quivering mass of jelly. So dogs need to be habituated to noises in all sorts of different areas. In my experience, it's nearly always linked to tension in the hindquarters, so the dog may also find it difficult travelling in the car and may actually be quite timid in new situations, especially when it's meeting new people. When we feel through the body on dogs that have noise sensitivity, we often find the ear tips to be cold, and also the feet, and a lot of dogs with noise sensitivity don't like their feet being handled. And that's probably because all the blood from the extremities is working to support the large muscle groups and also the organs so the dog can flee. But that flight posture becomes a habit for the dog. We can use a lot of ear work to help dogs overcome noise sensitivity, and also work around tight areas such as the hindquarters and through the lower back and down through the tail as well. And a dog that's obviously habitually in the flight reflex is going to be more aware of sound. It's the same for people. If you're scared, you can hear a pin drop, and if you're relaxed, lots of noise can be going on around you and it won't give you much cause for concern. And the same is true for our animal companions. Some dogs that are very emotional may have tension around the muzzle area, may also be very sensitive to noise. I had a lurcher who couldn't cope with the sizzling of onions. He was fine with everything else, but when he first came to me, any noise would send him running for cover. And we have flagstone floors in our house, and if I even moved a chair slightly, the dog would be hysterical trying to climb under a radiator. Over time, he learnt to control himself in all sorts of situations and became really confident with noise, to the point where he'd even be out in a thunderstorm just checking in with me to see what my responses are. If you do have a dog that's frightened of noise, you need to be really aware of how your own behaviour is going to influence that dog. So staying calm and neutral, not panicking, not telling the dog off, and also not trying to excite the dog with a really good game to take their minds off whatever may be upsetting it, should all be avoided. Stay calm, stay neutral, and also try experimenting with a t-shirt or the new Thunder shirt, which is new to the market, or even just a simple body wrap, because all these things help to give information to the dog's nervous system and help shift the focus from the noise. Putting a t-shirt, a body wrap, or this Thunder shirt on a dog can help to give them a sense of security. It isn't tight. You don't want to have something that's going to inhibit the movement of the animal and just make them stay in one spot while the noise is going on. But in my thought process, I think that having something touch the body helps to diffuse the focus on the noise. If you're worried about something going on, either visually or orally, and someone actually cups your hand or touches your arm really lightly, part of your brain is now thinking about the body part where the contact is, and you're going to be less focused on the source of stress. And I think that's the same for our dogs. And this is a really cheap, useful tool that can really help dogs overcome problems regardless of their age. And if your dog needs to den, let it den. I was working with an 11-year-old collie cross 2 years ago, and she was so hysterical about fireworks that she'd run under the divan drawer under her owner's bed and kick all the shoes out and be really, really hysterical. A lot of panting, a lot of drooling, so look for those small signs where the dog starts to pant a lot or salivate. By the end of the session, after teaching the owner ear work, light touches all over the body, and also popping a t-shirt on the dog, she was able to come out from the divan drawer and actually sit with her owner while rockets were going off overhead. And that story is common. It's common that we can help them effectively with Tellington TTouch, but also common in the fact that her owner would panic too and try and draw her out from the den thinking it was going to make her feel better. But if you're terrified of spiders, for example, and there's a spider in the room, having someone force you into that room to get over your fear of spiders is not going to do much to allay your concerns. So you need to be really mindful of how you interact with that dog. Stay calm, just do some touch work. If you touch a dog that's fearful, you are not going to reinforce its concerns. You're going to actually directly influence the nervous system and give the dog information that will actually help it cope with the issues that it's got. Indoor kennels can help dogs to feel really safe, but if you're going to use it for something like noise sensitivity, you need to be really careful that the dog's crate or any bed isn't in an alcove where the noise will be made worse. You also need to make sure that you don't shut the dog in a crate. It needs to have the choice of moving in and out from that crate. If it feels trapped, it will become more hysterical. And also make sure that the crate is covered, so that you're not going to trigger more behaviours by the dog being able to see any light stimulus that may be going along with the noise.